a unique thing is, this is something I think we should end the year going into season 7 talking about. So Crazy Crack Dads, it's kind of like a fun tongue-in-cheek thing that, be a crazy crack dad. But more importantly is our slogan that's even in the intro is, we're here to make geeks out of you.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you, as you are one of the people that guide the ship to this podcast and the brand and what we talk about even? I mean, the thing is, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And podcasts brand themselves based on what they're talking about, mixed with the people talking about them. And so it's hard to nail yourself into a niche, but we're at the point where, and we have the maturity level of doing many podcasts, knowing that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Because really, every podcast has to do that in order to grow. And so what do you think, especially leaning into our slogan, how do you envision that?
I mean, make geeks out of you, because we always talk about a lot of film stuff and the ins and outs of filmmaking, but not just that. I think also because of our age, I don't consider us old. I know you're old, but I'm not old. I'm kidding. I mean, we started this when we were decently young. So yeah. I think not tooting our horn. I'm not saying this is
How old was I?
Toot horn, but
how old was I?
I don't know, my guy.
23.
Okay, 23.
Started in February of 2019. I was 23.
Okay.
That summer, I turned 24. No. I was 24 that summer. No, yeah, I'm right, 23, because I am currently 25.
Not to toot my own horn.
Toot it.
Toot. I just tooted.
Toot.
No. Give people, show that we're starting a business, and kind of take people along the journey of us starting a business, with that be WiseWorks, if that be some of our side projects that we've done,
us
or we're doing
people,
more.
If they're interested.
Yes. So they're seeing us as people starting these businesses as young adult men.
And you get to have a front row seat because of this podcast to see us figure it out.
Yeah. Figure it out. Figure out our facial hair, because, sometimes it's not great.
And you haven't got any.
No. I mean, I'm starting to grow. People can see that.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's
you
why
referred
we're figuring
to them
earlier
out.
as pubes on your face.
That's why we're figuring it out.
Figuring it out, man.
Yeah.
Wyatt's going to be here soon to figure it out. Keep going with your ideas of branding.
He's already figured it out. You guys don't see him, but we see him on
Wyatt's got
Zoom
some
and
facial
Skype
hair.
every
I didn't know
week.
we were still talking about facial hair.
Because he's on the audio form. You guys don't see it, but you're going to see all that. He's younger than me, my guy, and he's got a lot more facial hair than me, my guy.
Yeah. Keep going what you were saying about branding, though, and the slogan, how that relates to your inspiration for this podcast and this journey.
Yeah, I mean, just following us as individuals starting a company, but also being very professional. I think this is something that we also need to work on in the future. I'm not saying we're totally there yet, but being more professional with how we are and how we present ourselves as business owners, as entrepreneurs, but also allowing ourselves to get on this podcast and be crazy crack dads.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, the way I see it, it doesn't contradict you at all.
That's a bit contradicting. I don't like that. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. It doesn't contradict you at all. It actually, I think, I'm not here to inspire people. Mm-hmm. I'm here to pursue things that I think will fulfill me and to help other people pursue those things that will fulfill them. And along the way, give people an opportunity to geek out and escape and enjoy things about their life. So there's a handful of podcasts that I look forward to every week when they come out. It's like when people used to watch their TV shows. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, my show comes on.
You're a nerd for podcasts, though.
Yes, but most people are, though.
Not everybody, though. But most people are.
Most people, yeah. Most people are.
But nobody. No. I'm kidding.
Most people are.
It's become a thing.
If we can get to the point where people like us to where they're like, yes, my show's coming on, then I'm right in the lane.
Yes, I get to see those nipples again.
Then we're right in the lane
Mm-hmm.
of what I would love to do for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a service. It's not me helping you be a better person. It's not you gaining some kind of wisdom or me inspiring you or being an influencer in any way. I think it's all yucky. I just want you to be entertained and to feel a little lighthearted a bit. Talk about things that are fun and lighthearted and enjoyable and for you to get good feelings out of it.
Good feelings.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, we go down the lane and we talked about we are Christians, but we don't live in that lane. You know what I mean? In the same way, we don't talk about politics because these things are not a place that people can feel comfortable in, being apart, being with each other in these topics. Some people grow huge based on these topics, but I don't want to be that kind of person. And I want to entertain everybody. I just want people to have good feelings. And so, here to make a geek out of you. And I want to give you a lot of intricate, fun things and cool stories and exciting laughs and moments and emotional moments that allows you to be a geek and to figure out you got that in you even if you don't think you do.
So this is something, intricate details or funny things outside of the podcast that we can talk about. Interests. I guess we could do a whole podcast on this, but what would you consider, you've not talked about it on this podcast at all. Maybe you haven't really talked about it to most people, except for maybe like your wife. Mm-hmm. What's one interest that you just really enjoy doing that's like you consider yourself a hobby or like just a fun thing you enjoy and you really geek out about? That's just weird that people don't know about you.
Are you thinking about one?
No, I'm just curious to let people know a little bit more about yourself.
The thing is, I'm pretty much an open book.
Yeah.
This is not a geeky thing. I'll say this in a second.
Yeah.
This is just sort of like a dirty pleasure.
Okay.
Okay, but the things that it's not secret, but I don't really talk about it much, is I love brewing my own beer, and I love woodworking.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty dirty.
That's not what I was talking about. The dirty thing is I like watching pimple and cyst pop videos.
Oh my goodness. My guy.
I like watching them. There's something satisfying about it. I'm not going to make anyone watch them with me. I'm just saying I enjoy them sometimes. It's something satisfying about cleaning out the person's body and getting some mess out of it. You know what I mean?
That's gross. Oh man, that's gross. I do not follow you with that trend.
It's gross. I know.
It comes,
it's gross,
for some reason,
but
it comes on my news feed a lot because it thinks I like that, but I don't. And I don't know how to get rid of it.
Dr. Pimple Popper, man.
That's gross.
She's brought a lot of fascinating material to my life.
Man, that's gross. No, sir.
I don't think I'd like it in person. But knowing that there's distance and me being like, ew, look at that. You know what I mean?
No.
That's kind of fun to watch. The distance of me just looking at a screen, not the actual thing.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do not follow that.
But I have other things, and like the woodworking and brewing stuff. That's something it's like a side thing. I'd like to maybe. The thing is, like, whenever I have an idea or an interest, I think, how could I make money doing this?
Yeah.
As a main thing, as a side thing, whatever. Those kind of things would be a side thing. But I'd like to explore, even this year, options. How do I make money doing woodworking? How do I become a better crafter?
Better woodworker.
Better woodworker.
Woodworker.
And then also just, perfecting flavors and brews and stuff, making things more tasty.
Tasty. Okay.
And maybe somehow collide that with what we've talked about many times, the interest in piracy, the interest in trinkets, but not wanting to like sell trinkets by themselves. You know what I mean? Like imagine a table with a pair of black skeleton dice that have been like encoded into the table in like a little gap, but it's like in a case on the table.
I don't want to derail from your topic, but today someone at work, they were like, what do you get like 3 boys that are around 10-ish years old for Christmas. And I was like, well, I don't know. Well, I suggested Nerf guns, but I said, let me tell you what I did around that age. Me and my brother got into Pinewood derbying. Pinewood derbies.
Pinewood derbies,
Yes.
Boy Scouts.
And because of that, we got into crafting wooden sword weapons. I said that was weird. Wooden swords
Yes.
that we crafted.
Wooden sword weapons is not wrong. Not weird.
It sounds weird.
No, it's not.
Wooden sword weapons.
Swords.
Yes.
Yeah, crafting them ourselves.
We'd craft them. We'd fight with them. They would break because wood swords break.
Don't
when you
hold
fight
up.
with them. But we got to that.
Yeah.
That was an interesting.
How old are these boys?
He said around 10-ish. I don't know exactly age. I think he said like under 10, so that might be not great.
Yeah.
But under 10, you could still get into
A
it.
wooden sword, that's the
Yeah.
way to go. Yeah. Heck yeah. And then when they get, 12, 13, 14 even, you get them the real
Do you think...
swords.
I always joke, mostly on the Midnight Special because we get into more geeky things there, but I always joke, I'm like, we're just a bunch of nerds doing a podcast. Do you think we had that aspect of being like a geeky nerd back then because we would spend hours creating this like wood weapon as teen boys, that most teen boys were playing video games and like we were like nerding out on these like wood weapons. We're like, it's so good. It's like wood. It's like
Yeah.
hard oak, and we got to make it sharp on both sides so it's like double bladed, and we got to give it a good handle, round handle. Sometimes we put like electrical tape on it to give it like
A nice grip.
because we didn't have leather.
Make it a good handhold.
Yeah, and then we like give it maybe like a ball at the end.
Yes, I think we were definitely geeks. I think if we knew anything about branding and about preparing for the future at that age, we could have started the podcast then.
Man,
I was thinking about that today.
I don't think we had the money to get equipment though.
No, but the thing is, we could have figured it out. That's the problem. When you're young, you don't think of these things. When you get older, you think of them, and then you start to put into practice your thoughts. And when you're young, you just don't know how to do that correctly. And so you got to forgive yourself for not starting something sooner, and you got to act now that you know what you need to do.